So today we are in my studio, just waiting for Mark from Barnfield Customs to show up because we are going to do a shoot of some of his clothing. So we got everything set up here very quickly. I'll fine tune it when he gets here and everything. You may wonder why I'm wearing a hood indoors like this. It is freezing. I've got a little heater down here, which is rubbish. And it's about -1 out right now. So it's going to be a cold one. Got some jackets. We'll keep moving. We'll keep warm. But yeah, when Mark shows up, we'll have a little chat with him and see what he's up to. He'll talk about a bit about his clothing, his company. I've got the clothing here on the rails, ready to go. So yeah, it should be fun. So I don't think this video is going to be very long, but I'll just take you kind of behind the scenes with the shoot and what we're going to be doing with kind of the styling and the shoot today. It's going to be quite simple. We've got a cool idea to use with the chair, kind of a David Bowie influence from a shoot that he was in back in the day with a dog. So hopefully that happens. However, the dog we have is a staffy puppy and he's a bit mental. The studio was an absolute state today. Since Christmas, I haven't really been in here much. All my work's been out on the road on shoots. Aside from some editing, which I've just managed to do at home because it was just too cold to leave the house really. In fact, you can see my breath right now. At least I can see it. So got the studio all cleared out as best as I can, but obviously it's a narrow building, a room basically that I rent. And my Harley takes up the majority of the space, but you know, if you're cold, they're cold. So you got to bring them inside. So I'll cut here and we will see you again when Mark arrives and we start actually doing some work. Cool. Let's get to it. Yep.
Special delivery. I've got an umbrella, a boot, and some whiskey.
Das Booten. I like it. Yeah. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, good. Thanks, buddy. How are you?
Good. Cold.
All set up?
Yeah, all set up. I was just telling the lovely people on YouTube, all 9 of my subscribers, that
Okay.
you know what's going on. What are we doing today?
Studio shots for the website and press releases, because I've got a bunch of press releases going out and I need photos to go with them.
Cool. How many items of clothing?
So we've got the pea coat is the main one.
That's the new one that you're developing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So pea coat, and then everything else in here, I've got knitwear.
Cool.
Sweaters to go with it, and then just outfits to make it make sense. And then, yeah, various props, umbrella. I've got a bunch of books.
Is it going to rain in here?
You never know.
You never know. Well, I mean, I hope not, because that's what insurance is for, isn't it? Exactly. And then we've got the chair. I said it's kind of the David Bowie-esque vibe. Yes, not vibe, but we've seen a cool photo of him from back in the day.
The sequence of shots that I saw in Goodwood magazine.
Cool.
They weren't taken for Goodwood, but the sequence that I saw in there, was Bowie with his dog.
Cool.
So Toby will come down with his little staffy.
I said that dog's a bit of a handful, so
6 months old, so puppy, so hectic. I think we'll just see what goes on with that. But I think if we get the e-commerce shots,
cool,
and kind of like a few prop shots,
yep.
If there's some action shots with the dog as well, that'd be cool as well. So yeah, happy day.
So what we'll do is we will start with. Do you want to start with e-commerce? Can we just fire them out?
I think so.
And then get on to a bunch more of the staged, kind of more thought out shots.
What might happen is that we figure out a change in lighting and come back to it.
Yeah, cool.
What I realised is that the e-com shots, especially the e-commerce shots, because they're a series, it needs to be on a tripod. So it just needs to be like static.
Yeah. How are you? What do you mean? How are you doing as a series?
Well, say for instance, like if you go on and as you're scrolling, the images come up or they're next to each other.
Oh, right. So you want them to be online. That's fine. That's good to know. Yeah.
And then it's just me and the outfit.
That's easy. If that's the layout of the site and everything, we can do it that way. Yeah. So no problem.
And then the PR shots, and especially like the ones with the dog and all that sort of stuff, we can be a bit more creative with and move around with.
All right, mate. Well, let's get cracking then.
Let's do it.
Wicked. So we started the shoot. Mark is all dressed in his lovely jacket. So this is the new jacket. I want to show it off a bit because it's being created at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, so this is the second sample, and there's a third one on the way.
Just turn my music off, sorry. No one wants to hear California in punk music at this time of the day.
I mean, without going into sales mode, this is the second sample, and there's the third sample's on the way. There's just a few minor differences, like because it's got this ribbed storm cuff inside.
Yeah.
So what that does is obviously it keeps your arm super warm, but what it also does, if you look at it from the side, you have a halt point here, like your shoulder's not going to move, and then with the ribbed cuffing, it stops the sleeve at that point. Now, if the ribbed cuffing wasn't there, it would look like that. See how smooth it is?
Yeah.
But with the ribbed cuffing, it stops it and you end up with this creasing. So we've just reduced it by 1 centimetre because my arms are pretty long for my body, so that should work.
Cool.
So yeah, just a few changes that need to be done, but not a huge amount at all.
Wicked. Okay. So currently what we're doing is the kind of e-commerce shots. As Mark said earlier in the video, on his site and how he's going to be releasing it, it's all going to be unified kind of images, isn't it, down the page?
Yeah.
So we're going to make sure that everything's in position. So we've got everything marked out as to where he's standing. I'm shooting on a tripod. I actually lost my really expensive tripod, so I need a new one. So if anyone wants to sponsor me, give me a tripod. I'm going to keep saying this. I'm sorry. Shameless plugs. So yeah, I'm going to sort that out later. But we've got our lighting set up here, nice and simple. I've got the side light here, 45-degree angle, and then the one straight on here behind the camera, over the camera. It's acting as a little tiny bit of a fill. But because this room is quite small and the walls are all white, we've got some nice reflection, some nice bouncing of light, and we can control it quite well with just these two lights. I had a reflector here I was going to use, but we don't need it yet. So all good. So we'll keep shooting away with these e-commerce shots. So what are you telling me about here?
Okay, so
We're onto the jumper now.
one of the ways to tell a really high quality piece of knitwear is if you look at the join here, if you can see. So obviously you've got two parts here and they're connecting. That is linked together by hand on a hand linking machine, and it's using the same yarn. If you look at a poorer quality piece of knitwear, that will be sewn with cotton. And it's just overlocked, which gives a really uncomfortable seam along all of here and down the sides. So whereas this is all one fabric, essentially.
Cool. So one sheet.
Unlikely to be one sheep, but potentially one flock.
On to more of some unrestricted off tripod shots. Just gonna go with it. We've got this chair set up in preparation for this dog coming, but we're gonna bash out a couple shots here. We don't really know how this is gonna look or how it's gonna work, so we're gonna try some different things. Usually I have a stylist on shoots, which is very helpful, but see what I can do on my own. So hold fire, I'll put this here. And let's just see what we get. Usually I do use flash in studio. However, recently, I don't know if it's because of all the video I've been doing, but recently I have been using a lot of continuous lights. It just makes shooting a little bit nicer. You still can get really good results. You can control the light, see where it's falling on the subject. Obviously not as powerful, so you got to take that into consideration. But it makes a lot nicer environment, I think anyways, than having a flash constantly going in your face. Do you agree, Mark?
It makes it more comfortable for sure.
Good. There you go. Spoken by straight from the mouth of today's model. So. Right. So here's Snips. Start of the show. This is going to be interesting. So studio's just shut down, dog just went. That was really intense, but we managed to make it work with a bunch of treats. Really cute dog, and we got some banging shots, so that's really good. We just finished off doing some, I don't want to call it flat lay, but it is pretty much flat lay. Just kind of product shots of the clothing on their own. A couple more shots we finished off with Mark. So what I'll do is I'm going to throw up a bunch more shots from the day at the end of this video now. But yeah, it was great, really good. Hope it was enjoyable to watch. And as always, like and subscribe if you like what you're seeing and you want to see more content like this. And I'll be sure to take you on the next shoot with me, which is in London, I believe. But I gotta look at my diary. Cool. All the best. Talk to you later. Bye.